Well, the Electricity Company of Ghana is facing the risk of severe sanctions for the utilities regulator, PRC, after it failed to comply with directive to produce a load management timetable for the recent erratic power supply. The PRC directed ECG to provide a detailed incident report of power outages for the period January 1, 2024, among others. But ECG failed to comply with this deadline. This comes in the wake of calls by businesses and power consumers demanding the ECG provide a load management timetable to enable them plan their operations accordingly. Isaac Kofi J with our research that joins me in studio with more details on this, Kofi. So, I mean, what are we learning from the PRC?
Well, so from what the PRC put out today, we are learning a few things. So the first one is that they gave ECG 8 orders to follow. And per analysis of the current updates given by the PRC, what we know is that 4 of the orders have been complied with so far. And if you do more analysis, you realize that 2 of the orders have not been complied with, and 2 are still under review or being validated, just like the PRC put in their press statement that they shared with us. And let's look at the orders that have not been complied with. We have 2 of them. The first one is the order that load management timetable corresponding with the timelines and duration of each transformer injection. So all the orders that had to do with timetables, ECG has not complied with so far, and that's what we are learning from the PRC at the moment. The second order that has not been complied with is the load management timetable corresponding with, we've already spoken about this one, is the evidence of publication of load management timetable again here, corresponding with the timelines and duration for each transformer injection. So we understand that the ECG was blaming partly some of the situation on transformer management and then maintenance. PRS is saying that provide a timetable for us to really understand the situation. And so, Kojo, what we understand is that all the orders that had to do with timetable provisions, ECG has not been able to comply with so far. But let's look at the order that is being validated or currently under review. We're able to count 2 out of the 8 so far. The first one is the copies of ECG's publications informing the general public of power outages from January 1, 2024 to date. ECG is still, validating or reviewing this order so far. The last one has to do with order that is being validated, which is the PRC shall validate all payments made along with the electricity company value chain for an approval month on month, and also publish it on the PRC website not later than the 2nd week of the following month. We know ECG has been complying with this, and so we know that by the end of the month, they should be able to do that for us to have that data to assess how much they even paid the power players, especially, the independent power producers. So, Kojo, this is what we are learning so far from the update that the PRC actually put out this night.
This whole issue has generated a lot of discussion. You remember what happened in the at the Tema General Hospital on Wednesday, and it has brought up a lot of discussion as to whether or not what the country should do, or there should be a publication timetable. The minority in Parliament is today asking the management of ECG and government by extension to eliminate health facilities, from the doomsday timetable.
Remember that the ECG already is after 91 health facilities. That they say they owe them close to 261 million Ghana cedis. They want them to be paid or get disconnected.
Well, so the minority says, the minority in Parliament has noted with deep concern the devastating impact the ongoing unannounced electricity load shedding on the delivery of essential health services across the country. Now, they go on to say that if you look at what's happening, something must change, and therefore the ECG should, eliminate or should take away government hospitals. Now, he says the government has refused to heed wise counsel from suffering Ghanaians and businesses to publish a load shedding timetable to enable them plan their lives. This situation has begun to take a toll on healthcare facilities across the country. So there you have it. The minority is telling you that what is happening is taking a toll on health facilities, as we saw at the Tema General Hospital on Wednesday. The minority says it demands the Ministry of Energy must, without delay, exempt all health facilities nationwide from the current unannounced and unscheduled electricity load shedding and power outages. So the Ministry of Health with the Ghana Health Service should A, audit all alternate power supply systems within health facilities. They are talking about generators there.
Absolutely.
Because they want to do away with what happened at the Tema General Hospital. B, provide adequate resources for the procurement of fuels. Because if they have generators and they cannot power,
definitely
then of course.
Yeah.
Now C, conduct an impact assessment to gauge the effect of recent power outages on health facility operations. So what is happening? What is the impact on health facilities? The minority want a response of a sort from the Ministry of Energy.
In fact, it must come very quickly because we know how important this is. And seeing children actually, suffering as a result of this situation means that we need to really assess the situation, especially assessing and validating all their plants and see whether they can afford fuel to actually power this plant.
But tonight, what's happening is that the Public Utility Workers Union is taking on both GRIDCO and the PRC. Now, it says the Public Utility Workers Union of TUC Ghana has observed with keen interest the recent challenges confronting electricity distribution in Ghana with its negative impact on the operations of ECG. Now, ECG being transparent, informed customers of some 630 distribution transformers being full to capacity within its operational areas. They go on to say that ECG has about 33,000 distribution transformers within its network. Thus, even if the 630 transformers are overloaded, that cannot be the cause of the recent erratic power supply throughout the country. So they are shifting the blame from the ECG. Now, they say that it is worthy to note that at the time the bulk supply point, BSPs, are dammed, or ECG is asked to pick limited load, power supply transmitted to ECG is far less than what is available. This is a question that the system operator needs to answer at GRIDCO there. Now, it will interest key stakeholders, including PRC, that in the last 1.5 years, under the leadership of this current management, ECG has made significant improvement towards becoming a modern utility company. So, propping up ECG here. The question that needs to be answered is, should not PRC, as a regulator, be requesting data from the system operator on outages of BSPs to avoid the speculation? Interesting. Now, we are hereby appealing to the system regulator, that's GRIDCO, to address these issues at the earliest possible time. So the workers of ECG under the pool are really making a case for ECG1 and then telling the PRC that, look, you have to look at GRIDCO data from GRIDCO and not ECG, because what is happening goes beyond ECG.
Beyond just load shedding, we understand it is power generation. And so if it's power generation, then in fact, GRIDCO must come in to also answer some questions.
That's why the ECG workers are saying that you need to get it right from GRIDCO.
Yeah.
But the question we need to ask ourselves, whether, Kofi, you know for real that you'll be having power when you go home tonight, or you won't have. ECG has put out a notice warning some part of the country of a possible power outage tonight. Let's share with you where these areas, so you know. Now, it says the ECG wishes to inform our cherished customers and the general public that the Ghana Grid Company Limited, GRIDCO, has refused or has reduced power supply to our Trasaco bulk supply point, resulting in outages in the following areas. So if you are here, know that you may probably go off tonight. Teshi, Regimanuel, Shadoman, Airport Hills, Spintex, Otano, Maijon, is that how you pronounce
Manjo.
it? Marjon, okay. School Junction, School Junction, Nanakrom, ECG Quarters, American House, part of Medina, during Ghana, Japan Motors, Lakeside, Legon Hills, Trasaco Estate, Islamic University, Boteman, and Zoom Lion. It says ECG wishes to assure all affected customers that once GRIDCO turns on supply, power will be restored. ECG regrets the inconvenience caused to the affected customers. So we understand that actually this was to begin yesterday, 27th.
Looks like another blame game here. Just per the timetable they've given, I know I'm affected. I won't sleep. I will lie tonight.
Well, interesting. Let's see how it goes. Well, but just as they've issued this one, we understand that the ECG says that their customers and general public that Gridco has reduced power supply to Pokuase bulk supply point, resulting in outages in the following year. So today, today, for the people who are affected or who are expecting to be with
okay, so what we read was yesterday.
Exactly.
Okay, that's why I didn't have light.
So you didn't have light yesterday?
Yeah.
So tonight, if you live in these areas, you have to know that you may not be without power.
Simply load.
Agbogba. I got it right,
Agbogba,
right?
yeah.
Agbogba.
Yeah.
Mayera.
Yeah.
Part of Teman. Aimensa.
Yeah.
The other how do you pronounce the other one? Katapo?
Katapo, yeah.
Okay. Top Herbal. Boshe. Abureje. Pure Water. Pokuase Township. Fountain Gate. And surrounding areas.
I love that.
ECG wishes to assure all affected customers that once Gridco, here again, turns on supply power, power will be restored. ECG regrets the inconvenience caused to the affected customers. So here, ECG is trying to tell you that all that is happening is not ours.
Not me alone.
Yeah,
but
it
I mean,
is Gridco. What Gridco gives me, I supply. Now, in all of this back and forth, the chairman of Parliament's Mines and Energy Committee, Samuel Atta Akyea, says a load shedding timetable is needed.
It's very unfortunate that we need to be harassed by, if you like, matters that we've not interrogated. But that's how I see it. And I agree with Rankin that there was necessity for ECG and the rest of them to come before the committee for us to interrogate and tell to everybody where is the problem. Because whatever you say, which is going to solve the problem, what we need to do is that what you have to do, if we are responsible, you need to do it. And then we get out of this mess. But what we had, and I'm very, very honest with some matters, that when we wanted ECG and the rest of them to congregate so we interrogate the matter, we had an intervention from the minister that is out of the jurisdiction. But in such a very important interrogation, he wants to be seated. That's how come we never got around to interrogate the matter. But it is imperative that if you have a challenge, whether it's a matter of generation deficit or a financial challenge, let the people of Ghana know that there's this challenge and this is the timetable. So people will plan around the challenge you are facing. To make it like it's a fetish that we don't know whether today I'll have power in my area or I won't have power, how people iron their clothes to get to work and the rest of it, and all the challenges. I don't think that's the way to go. It's unprofessional and too messy for comfort. So I think I will liaise with Rankin, and I'm tempted to believe that the minister is in the realm. We need to, although we are on holiday, we need to, get the members back for us to congregate, and they will be able to go into these matters.
Interesting point the chairman makes there. But this goes contrary to what the Minister of Energy, Matthew Opoku-Prempeh, said some days ago, that, well, we are not in any load shedding and therefore we cannot put out a timetable.
It's pure load shedding. And the updates we are getting, it's clear that the ECG is now dishing out timetable. But this time around, it doesn't come with a particular time. So I know if I live in Trasacco or wherever, I may not get lights today, but I do not know when my lights will go off. But I definitely know that I will experience some sort of doomsday. So this is a partial doomsday timetable. Maybe this will add the time.
Interesting. Well, we brought you a statement from the Public Utility Workers Union, who are now, going head on with PURC, asking them that why not take a look at their Gridco for what they do. Michael Odumata-Nyantichi is General Secretary of the Public Utility Workers Union, and he has been speaking to Evans Mensah on Top Story on Joy FM.
So what we are saying is that PURC, being the regulator, knows that it's the system operator that has the data that will inform the whole public as to whether the quantum of power available will enable ECG to come up with a timetable or not. So to just look at the issue of this 630 transformers and demand a load shedding timetable based on that, we think it's begging the question.
Why do you say so? I mean, if you have 630 transformers, that you claim...
630 transformers out of 33,000.
Yes, but...
Any objective analyst will tell you that this number cannot impact the situation that we are experiencing.
So what?
And that is where we think that CURC would have done this for a better service than by asking the system operators to provide critical data that will help us all understand the state of what is happening.
But Mr. Nyantechi, these 630 transformers, ECG has published where they are, and they are across the country. We still need, from a customer's point of view, I still need a timetable for the specific area where you have these faulty transformers.
No, but Ivan, the point is, these transformers are localized. They cannot affect so many large areas as have been. Like if you take the notice that has been published today about ECG concerning areas that are going to go off, this cannot be attributed to even 100 transformers in the area. No. So we think that GRIDCO and PURC, by extension being the regulator, can inform us all that based on A, B, or C, there is going to be this outage. But you cannot use these defective transformers as a reason for asking for a timetable.
I mean,
and the issue of transformers being full and being replaced, being upgraded, is something that is a normal practice within ECG operational areas, which does not call for any kind of a timetable.
Well, now the question people will be asking is, will the PURC be able to sanction ECG for failing to comply with orders? We've been speaking to Dr. Eric Kofi Obote, who is Director of Research and Corporate Affairs at the PURC. He's been speaking to Evans Mingsa on Top Story.
How long would that take? Now that you have it, you've told us that you don't have two of them being complied with. Will the process kicking immediately for review and possibly imposition of sanctions? And how long will this take?
Well, we've transmitted whatever it is we have to the commissioners. I cannot give a deadline or time to the commissioners. So if the commissioners come out and tell us that by this time we are doing A, B, C, D, I'm more than willing to come out and communicate that to the public.
Safe to say that you're happy with the remainder of the directives and the ECG's compliance with those?
Well, there's another level of compliance. They're supposed to comply with the rest of the orders by April 2nd. That's next week, Tuesday. So we are waiting to see if maybe some other things in terms of the timetable will be added to those ones which will be brought in by April 2nd. Until then, this is what we have, and this is what we are working with.